What's up, everybody, and welcome to a late night Eagles Super Bowl preview. We're really here. I'm Parth, obviously. I'm here with Pierre and Quell, but every time I think about it, these last 2 weeks, it's like we're finally here. Obviously, I have to think about it because ESPN doesn't want to give me any headlines about the Eagles being in the Super Bowl because they want to keep talking about the Niners, who they think should be in the Super Bowl. I'm hearing from Robbie Gould, a kicker. Kickers shouldn't talk, bro. Keep your mouth shut. Caleb Sturgis, you know what? He had that double doink because one time I went up, I was on the sideline, and I was like, "What's up, man? Huge Gator fan. Just wanted to say what's up." And he was such a dick. He was like, "Cool."
That wasn't Caleb Sturgis.
Oh, I know. It was It was Cody Parkey. Caleb Sturgis got cut though.
But welcome to the Super Bowl preview show. We are
Kickers keep their mouth shut. That's what we think here. Wait, but did Caleb Sturgis get cut? Who did we cut for Jake Elliott? Was it Parkey or was it Parkey, right?
Sturgis.
It was
Sturgis, yeah.
It was okay, good. So then I knew there was something. Good. You got it. Yeah, the year of the Super Bowl, you got cut. Go Gators, though. Anyways, how you guys doing today?
I'm good, man. Excited for Sunday. It needs to be Sunday already.
Mm-hmm.
Wubba dub. It is I, the one and only Marquil Fripp Owens, and we are not brought to you live from Radio Row. We are brought to you from our homes, where we watch the Super Bowl from in peace.
Yes, sir. All right. So, sorry, I got a lot of energy, but I got this question for you guys. All right, it's been on my mind. We were kind of talking about it before. Is this the biggest game in Eagles history? Right, like the first Super Bowl. 2017, it's big. We're going in with a backup. It would be the first win in franchise history, all of that. But let me broach you with this one. This is the best season in Eagles history, but the entire season, it's been riddled with questions. Anyone in the national media is even like some of the beats are just trying to riddle holes in the story. Are they going to be last year's Cardinals or this year's Cardinals? Are they going to do this? Are they going to do that? And they've made it, right? They made it to the big game. If they don't win this, there's always going to be questions about this team. We all know, we've been covering this team. We all know that it's a legitimately good team. Can't control who you play. So in that sense, this kind of becomes, obviously it's a Super Bowl, and as Nick Sirianni said, must-win game, right? But is this the biggest must-win game for the Eagles?
Yep. And see, words mean things. For you to use the term biggest, it's what makes this a yes. If you would have said most important, I would not have agreed with you. Because that first Super Bowl was clearly the most important because it was getting the monkey off your back. It was getting one on the board at that point. But since we have something on the board now, it's more of a situation where, like you laid out, you got all of these things on the line. Your reputation, for lack of a better term, is on the line in this game. How will you respond? And I mean, just when you look at it based on how this football team has come from day one all the way up to this point, the questions that I remember I was reading earlier a few of the articles that I dropped before the season, and one of the which was how I stated Philadelphia wasn't born to be the hunted; they were the hunters. They're used to going to get everybody else. So how would they fare having all of these expectations on their shoulder in the league looking at them like, okay, you one of them ones. So what you gonna do with that? And I mean, like you said, there's still been questions. People talk about who you have or haven't played, your performance in some of these games and things of that nature. Like I said to you before we got on, I'm sorry I can't control who I line up against from week to week. That's the NFL schedule maker's job. But this game right here against this team and this quarterback, especially given, like I said a second ago, Philadelphia isn't supposed to be the hunted. I mean, the hunter. The hunted. They're supposed to be the hunter. Mm-hmm. But in situations like this, you see They're the favorite heading into this game, unlike last time. You look at all these widespread media platforms, and a lot of people are picking the Eagles, and it's like, okay, so can you handle the pressure? Now what? Because I mean, this just shifted the. I personally went into this game. You know how I viewed it. We had this conversation almost 2 weeks ago or so, 3 weeks, where you guys asked, "Is it Super Bowl or bust for the Eagles?" And I was like, "Nah. I mean, you got a lot of guys under contract. You got basically the root of the team in place. Just continue to build on great things. With year three, you know what we say all the time, part of year three. That's when things are supposed to take off.
3-year rule, baby.
But I mean, like you guys argued against it. The opportunity that they have in this moment, most wins in franchise history. Jalen Hurts playing at the level that he is. Just Jason, you can even look at it as far as saying Jason Kelsey, Lane Johnson, Brandon Graham, Fletcher Cox. These are guys that may never put on an Eagles uniform again. We just generally don't know what's going to happen. This game has to be won. This game has to be won, man.
So I started out thinking, like no, but after listening to what you said, Quell, I think I tend to agree. And especially when you consider like all the things that have gone into or things that have been said about the current, members of the team, from whether it be Nick Sirianni, Jalen Hurts, AJ Brown, Miles Sanders, all the different talking points that media members have said. Sirianni, he isn't fit to be head coach because he stuttered a lot in his opening presser. Jalen Hurts, he'll never be a top flight thrower of the football. Miles Sanders, he's too inconsistent, and it kind of goes back to the Jason Kelsey Super Bowl parade speech when he was like, "It's the whole team" type of thing. This group of guys, they've been doubted, and like you said, part most wins in Eagles franchise history. It's the biggest game in Eagles history, I think. Yeah.
Are you gonna say what I think you're gonna say?
I'm sorry. I gotta chime in, especially because we laugh. I gotta put this in. Make sure you keep all your thoughts that y'all were just about to say in your head and don't forget them. But I am proud to announce, while we did not win, Hassan Reddick had more Defensive Player of the Year votes than Michael Parsons.
Michael Parsons! Fraud watch. Fraud watch.
He actually finished in second, and while it wasn't close, a whopping 46-2, we got 2 votes.
Hey, that's one more than Quentin Williams and Chris Jones got.
Hassan Reddick, man.
It's one more Jones got and Chris Jones got, and 2 more than Michael Parsons. So I'll remember that next time everyone wants to talk about Michael Parsons.
Michael Parsons did not get 1 vote.
Spend less time on Twitter, buddy. Hit the lab.
You let the media tell it Michael Parsons' greatest thing since Lawrence Taylor.
Lawrence Taylor Jr., man.
Constantly. Ridiculousness.
Just
anyways. Gross. Disgusting. I agree with you guys, though. I think it is a must-win game. And I like what you said, Pierre. Like, this team, Quell, you're right. Maybe we are changing positions and we are the hunters now, right? Maybe we are the overdogs. This is the city of underdogs, and maybe we are the overdog now. But I mean, what did Kevin Hart say? He was like, I can bet the overdog for underdog odds, right? Like, I mean, who doesn't want to be the overdog? But even to that point, we might be the favorite team, but everyone is also, there's also tons of people saying Patrick Mahomes this, Patrick Mahomes that. And even if they are a favorite team, there's still so many people who are doubting the team, doubting players on the team. Oh, Jalen Hurts can't do this. Like, I mean, we talked about it at the beginning, but Robbie Gould is talking about Jalen Hurts can't throw the football. Like, dude, you are a kicker, and you feel entitled enough to be talking about Jalen Hurts not being able to throw the football. Like, that's because it's such a widespread thing, and everyone talks about it, and it's just been accepted. And it's been accepted off of BS grounds. It's not factual. Jalen Hurts can throw the football. He's been one of the best throwers of the football in the league this year.
I think that's the thing that's most frustrating about it, bro. Like, people had these talking points all throughout the offseason, and we were one of the main outlets, leading the charge for Jalen. And even still, after the year he's had, you still have people who are spouting that BS like it's fact, man.
Chris Sims, like I mean, it's just constant, man. Like he's still like they
All my
double down.
homies hate Chris Sims.
No, like it's just it's absurd, man. It's to the point where it's not even like you're not even showing journalistic integrity. Like just be an adult about this. You were wrong. You can be wrong. You know that it's the adult thing to do is admit that you're wrong. But you know, as I was saying, like you talked about Sirianni. People made fun of him for talking about flowers. They make fun of Jalen for throwing the football. They make like I mean TJ Edwards. Like so many guys on our defense now. Reed Blankenship was an undrafted free agent. TJ Edwards was an undrafted free agent. Like all these guys just have this edge about them. Brandon Graham might have made the biggest play in franchise history, but up until then, he had been called a bust for multiple years. You know, like all these guys carry something. Jason Kelsey had to walk on for a scholarship. Like these guys have that dog in them. They might be the overdog, but they got that dog in them, and this is where they need to prove it because this is the first real challenge. You can't control who you play, but this is the challenge of all challenges, man. It's nice that this Super Bowl is actually the matchup between the two best teams in the league. You know, this is what we were kind of tracking all year. Chiefs Eagles. You know, things people were talking about week 2, right? Week 3, because I mean the Eagles started off on a hot streak. They had like the big game against Minnesota, and people were talking, oh, Chiefs Eagles. They have the best. I mean, the Eagles are the best roster, but the Chiefs have arguably the best player in the league. We'll see. You know what all happens with that, but it's a must win because of all that. You have so much to prove, and this is the point that you get to prove it because no matter what you've done to this point, nobody cares. What do you say, Quo?
I just think
you're saying nobody cares, work harder.
Yeah. You already know, man. Also, shout out to Sauce Gardner for Defensive Rookie of the Year. Who had him at corner 1? Shout out to the mob in the process. But I mean, just as you were saying, man, and I mean, I guess we can get into it while we're here since we're talking some Kansas City football. How do you guys feel like we match up against this football team, man? A lot of people saying the Eagles have quote unquote the better roster. And I mean, of course,
Jets got 2. Garrett Wilson.
Yeah. Not often that happens, man. Shout out to their processing.
Joey D.
There's a lot of teams.
You guys think Aaron Rodgers is going there?
No. It's honestly maybe it's a two-way street. It's either gonna be there, it's gonna be the Raiders. What? He's coming to the AFC somewhere.
Anyways, yeah. You want to go first, Pierre, or should I?
Wait, what? I zoned out. I'm sorry.
How do you think we match up?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I can go first. I think we match up well with them on both sides of the ball. I think defensively, the star power on that side of the ball for them is along their defensive line, and for the Eagles, like we've said ad nauseum, they have one of the best, if not the best, offensive lines in the league. And then when you look at their secondary, it's made up of L'Jarius Sneed, and rookies, right? Trent McDuffie, Jalen Watson. And I think we have the edge offensively. And then defensively, it's kind of been tricky for me because, like, with them, of course, you have Mahomes and Travis Kelce, and then after that, it's kind of like, I'm not gonna say average, but a couple of them are like just guys.
See, that's the thing.
They're pretty average. I don't think it's mean to say that Marcus Valdez-Scantling is average.
That's the thing.
I think that's just the truth.
That's the thing, though, man. It's because, and I like to think these two teams are a beautiful blip of what this offseason correlated into heading into this year. You got a team like Philadelphia who, okay, we got a young quarterback. We got a little bit of money to spend. Let's go get us a guy, especially with one of these teams that are willing to offer themselves a top flight receiver. Let's take the risk. We can pay him, and you see how it turned out on our end. But then you see the other side of the basket with a team like Kansas City, who I don't want to say they couldn't afford, but for lack of a better term, they couldn't afford to pay their top guy. They had to get rid of him, and they took a bit of a money ball approach, saying, okay, if we can get just a little bit from a guy like Sky Moore or Marquez Valdez-Scantling in the deep ball department, we can get just a little bit from a guy like Juju Smith-Schuster underneath, or Miko Hartman with our touch passes, things of that nature. Like we can replicate things that Tyreek created, at least in the statistic department, and it worked out very well for them, man. It worked out very well. That's the interesting thing about this team. As you guys can see, I've been taking my time to do a little bit of research on the guys. I talked to you guys last week about basically how Steve Spagnuolo, that was on the pod, right? Or was that in the messages? I think that was on the pod. But
I
what
think
I
it
was
was in the
telling you
messages. I
guys,
think.
oh, all right. Well, I can touch on it a bit. How Steve Spagnuolo has done a really good job, basically overhauling himself and how the Chiefs operate defensively. If you're an Eagles fan, you know Steve Spagnuolo from his time with the Giants, and we had a guest on a few weeks back, JP Acosta, shout out, friend of the pod, who used the term emotionally blitzing. And when I tell you, I have never seen a more emotional blitzer than Steve Spagnuolo. The man just blitzed every single, especially when he got his feelings hurt. It was ugly. But watching this Kansas City unit this year, he had the chance to take the time to step back a little bit when he watching this group. And I mean, maybe it's because, as you said, you got two rookies on the outside playing cornerback. You can't be as aggressive as you usually are. You can't leave your guys on corners and play your single half. So he rotated up to a lot of what we do, playing quarters coverage. And it may not be as thorough as it is for us on early downs. Because I know personally in Philadelphia, we play a lot of early down quarters coverage. Like first down, I think it's like 32% of the time or something of that nature. But I know the Chiefs later in the draft is when they start breaking out their quarters, where it's okay, we don't necessarily want to be too aggressive, but we're gonna trust our guys and we're gonna put them in proper positions, especially with their match coverage concepts. So it's interesting. It's gonna be interesting to see how the Eagles attack them on the defensive side of the ball, man. But just even then offensively, like the Chiefs did a great job giving like just trying to figure out the way to distribute all of the missing workload from Tyreek. Because I mean, not just as a receiver, he as much as he was worth as a rusher, as much as the workload they put on him in that concept, finding a guy like Isaiah Pacheco, man, and of course we can't forget the one thing I don't think we're taking into account enough as Eagles fans is yeah, sure, we got the advantage in terms of skill position players, but what do we do when the Chiefs tap into their out the backfield looks, where you start targeting guys like Jared McKinnon, who has had a multitude of big games to finish the year, or Isaiah Pacheco. I think they activated Clyde Edwards-Helaire off of IR as well. I don't think he's going to be as prevalent in the game, but just something to keep an eye on.
So let me ask you this. You talk about the Chiefs and their out of the backfield looks. Do you think there's a chance we see more like three safety looks from the Eagles defense to sort of combat, the sort of, I guess, negative impact that could have on a guy like a TJ Edwards?
That'll be interesting. At the same time, I'd like to think that the Eagles, because if you look at, wow, it got ugly for a while. I know we talked about a few weeks back how bad Kaiser was playing in coverage after his great start to the season. But if you look at them as an overall, and actually, once I got into a big picture, look at it, as bad as I talked about TJ in coverage this season, TJ was better than I thought he was. Both TJ and Kaiser had, I think, about 7 pass defenses in coverage this year. So they were both really solid as linebackers. So I think Gannon was kind of going to go into his limit and trust, especially if we go into an opportunity and think about what we're going to do with Travis Kelce, which I think is personally interesting because, I mean, Parth, me and you talked about this on P's and Q's last year. I think it was actually this matchup when it got brought up, where how Gannon has played against tight ends. And the Eagles against tight ends this year, they're giving up 3 touchdowns. They've gotten 4 interceptions, and they got an 80.6 passer rating, which is good for 5th in the league. So they aren't slouches against tight ends. Now, it'll be interesting to see how they go about deploying it.
They played good tight ends, too.
Who?
The Eagles have played good tight ends, too. They didn't play – they played Hawkinson once. They didn't play him twice, though.
Right. So, especially having a guy like CJ GJ, man, which, I mean, I said this when the trade first happened, but how could you not bring it up now? If Gannon said, hey, CJ, we need you to go take Kelce, what do you think he's going to say? You could tell me to go try guard and guard. I'm going to go out there. My man is a demon.
That way. No, I I agree. To that point, I think we're going to see a lot more safety play in the middle of the field, like in that intermediate area, because we've talked about it a lot about this defense and what it is supposed to do, and it's supposed to stop the big play. It was supposed to stop Patrick Mahomes, but like we talked about, Patrick Mahomes has evolved and the team has evolved. And so now Patrick Mahomes is not just looking for the deep shot. Patrick Mahomes is very okay with throwing short passes and letting his guys get yak. And now they have a good collection of guys who can get yak, Marquez Valdez-Scantling is definitely that, deep threat kind of guy for them. But the addition to Kadarius Toney, Sky Moore, all these kinds of guys, Travis Kelce, obviously, I mean, that dude is ridiculously shifty for a guy his size, and so they've definitely evolved into an offense that just can take the easy yardage and take it. And so this game is going to be predicated on how the Eagles tackle as well. It can get really ugly really fast if we see like the McCaffrey run, if we see tackling like that run, if we see throwing shoulders, not wrapping up, it's over because Kadarius Toney bounces off of shoulders.
It was so bad, brother. Like so bad. Every last one of them threw. I'm like, is anybody gonna wrap up? We had one player try, and even then, he played 2-hand touch with him. He was trying to be in the Pro Bowl. Like, I don't understand what was going on.
Exactly. And we've seen it. We've seen it rear its head, and that's what worries me. We've seen.
What's the Steve Austin meme?
Which one, bro? It's wrestling. I'm gonna be lost.
I'm not gonna say it. Go ahead.
Oh, send it to me though.
Hey, folks, go ahead.
Listen, anyway, since I don't know wrestling, I'll be right back to the point. But if we do not wrap up and tackle, and that has been an issue this year, then it's going to be over really quickly. And if Gannon is not willing to adjust, this game will be over really quickly. Because, you can be ready for the big play. You can do all those things. But with Patrick Mahomes, you can't stay static. That's one thing.
That's the thing. That's the scary thing about it, though, brother. Because he can't stay, like, he has to show a little bit of everything in this game. But he has to stay, like, I understand your feelings about Gannon and how this defense is ran. But in this game, particular this year, he has to stay as close to being himself as possible in this game.
You really think so with how the Chiefs have changed?
They have to, brother, because if you blitz Patrick Mahomes, you will die.
Look, I'm not saying you blitz him a bunch, but you have to be. I mean, you have to make sure that you're getting pressure on him.
Brother, if they're not getting pressure with the front four, then we might have no chance to win this game. Because
I know, but at that point, you're throwing the kitchen sink. But he needs to be rotating between man and zone a lot. He likes to stagnate. That's something that he does, and that's something that you need to do. Like, you can't beat Patrick Mahomes with just zone, and you can't beat Patrick Mahomes with just man. It doesn't work. You got to mix up both. And that's something that, like, last couple of weeks, when he said, I want to gut him, yeah, he was in his bag. All right, now I'm with that. Like, you can do that, but you got to keep doing it. And he's done it in the playoffs, so I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt. But if we look at the entire season and how top 10 quarterbacks have done against this defense, it's been that they can pick them off underneath, get the yak, and the defense, we play the bend don't break, but then we end up breaking. And, and it just keeps happening.
If there was ever a game to just throw the entire kitchen sink at an offense, it's this game for Jonathan Gannon, man.
Yeah.
I don't know, brothers. I feel y'all because you don't want to keep showing him the same thing. You got to keep him on his toes. I understand that. I agree with you 100%. I'm just saying that's just Patrick Mahomes. First of all, Patrick Mahomes has only faced pressure on 25% of his snaps this season for good reason. He got pressured last week. And he roasted Cincinnati. He roasted Cincinnati. He was 8 of 11 on the plays, so he was blitzed. A touchdown and 140.3 quarterback rating. If you want to look at on the season, he has 113 quarterback rating and 16 touchdowns against the blitz. Don't blitz this man. Leave him alone. Make him read a defense where he sits here and told you with his own mouth, I struggle to do it. Drop 8 in the coverage as many times as you can.
They're gonna run. Do you think they can't run the ball? You think they still can't run the ball? Isaiah
if,
Pacheco will run through this defense if we have
if
we have 8 defenders back there.
I'm gonna be
Dude, I
completely
mean,
honest with you, bro.
listen. I get it. You don't want to blitz him a ton, but you can't play defense scared. That's
I'm not
ridiculous.
saying
It's not how you play defense.
And I mean, trust and believe me, I know the Chiefs showed last week they were more than willing to run the ball because the Bengals did exactly what I said and sat here and said, we can keep defenders on the field. You're not going to throw the ball. We don't care about your 3 tight ends, which is crazy enough. If you guys had the chance to sit here and watch, shout out to Benjamin Solak, man. If you guys had a chance to sit here and watch the play sheet earlier today, he touched on how lethal this Chiefs offense is in 13 personnel, man. I don't know about 12. I seen 13 though.
No, he said they were good in 12 too. He talked about it on the podcast that 12 and 13, when they have at least 2 tight ends out there, that's when it can be worrisome for the Eagles because
I just know based on the numbers he pulled up that the Chiefs have the most prolific offense in the league in 13 personnel in 11, and the Eagles have the most prolific offense in 12. But just seeing the work they can do in 12. If you watched that Bengals game last week, while they were not afraid to throw the ball out of 12, shout out, I think his name is Eric Gray, Noah Gray, something of that nature. I don't know. It's Gray. I'm sorry, I don't know your name, brother.
You talk about the tight end?
Yeah,
it's Noah Gray.
Yeah, Noah Gray. Okay, there you go. And it's another one they got there that they ain't afraid to get the ball to, but they will use them. But they will show you 13 personnel, and if you keep them bodies out there, they will tell you, okay, we're running the ball. And they did a damn good job last week at running the ball at Minnesota. I mean, I don't know why I keep calling it Minnesota. Cincinnati. They're running the ball at Cincinnati. And it's like, okay, I feel you. But how I've been, and a lot of other people have been viewing this game, and it's more so in the fact of, I get what you did last time and the last week, but you got to understand that this is a whole different animal. Just like y'all telling us that we playing against a whole different animal, you playing against a whole different animal. And it ain't many, if any, teams in the league they got the offensive and defensive fronts that the Eagles got. And we come with packs. Like it's lows. It's going to keep coming. We got Brandon Graham with 11 sacks off the bench. So they're going to keep sending dogs at you. So if I think the Eagles will be more than comfortable sitting here saying, look, I keep my guys in coverage. And if you can beat my down lineman that got 70 sacks on the season with your offensive line, then I tip my hat to you. But that guy wearing 15 ain't going to win Super Bowl MVP. He ain't going to beat me.
So are you talking about the Eagles in the 4-man front? The one that they've been famously terrible at all season? I mean, we've switched to a 5-2 for a reason. Like, I mean, it's because the 4-man fronts don't work with this team. I don't know what it is, but we weren't able to stop the run. It was bleeding. It was awful. And I get it. I get what you're saying, Quell, but I just fundamentally disagree. Like, I don't think you need to blitz them all the time, but if you're not bringing some sort of pressure, making them uncomfortable, the Bengals don't have the horses that we have on the outside. What corner on the Bengals can match up with Slay or Bradbury? In blitzing, it's supposed to be fast. I get it. Mahomes is not next level in getting out of the pocket and playing outside the pocket. That's something you got to deal with. But if you can blitz right, if you can get pressure on him, your corners need to only hold up for a few seconds. Right. And we have the corners to do that. So I'm not saying blitz them all game. This is not the Jim Schwartz game. Please. I'm not saying that. All right. I know I tend to sometimes, but that's not what I'm saying here. But I also think that you do need to bring stuff. I mean, we were seeing different stunts with Hassan going over the nose tackle and TJ Edwards hitting the B gap, those types of things. Like, you need to mix those up. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not saying you're sending engage 8, all right? But if you're not trying to make Mahomes uncomfortable, not knowing where the pressure is coming from all the time, then I think you're doing something wrong.
No, I completely agree. If you all the different cute little stunts he's been showing over the last few weeks,
that one with
if you want to show some simulated pressures like you've been doing, all that stuff, go for a big fella. Do what you've been doing. I'm just asking you. I'm not even asking you. I'm begging you. Just don't send 5 at him. Don't send 5 at all. That's it. You can send pressure however else you want to. Just don't take that extra player out of coverage. Because
I just think, dude, I think you're going to be mad. I think you're going to see a lot of 5-man fronts. I think you're going to see a lot of 5-man fronts because he just
that was going to be one of the next things I asked. Like, do y'all think in this game we're going to see a lot more of like the 5-1, 5-2 fronts versus, like you said, part
that would be interesting.
That would be. I'll listen to that. I
That would be
listen to
cool.
5-1s, but then
Yeah.
at the
So
same
then
time, that just goes
Kaiser,
into
you leave TJ out there, right? Not Kaiser.
yeah. I was about to say even then
Then
that
that's
just
where
goes into
you're
what I was just
right.
saying with the running back out the backfield and you
Right.
leaving your
Oh yeah,
linebacker
I bet
in.
the over. I bet the
Um,
over on Isaiah Pacheco receptions, bro.
oh man,
Like,
come on!
I'm
Why are
taking
you
that.
putting in Chiefs bet?
It's like,
I
huh?
took his over on fantasy points, bro. So
Why
I
are
feel
y'all
you.
putting in Chiefs bets?
After he did it,
y'all
after I
need to
saw
get
Pierre do it,
y'all.
I added it. Hey, but I got the Chiefs at like 1.5 touchdowns and the Eagles at 2.5. So I mean, it makes up. All right. That's the biggest parlay I've made, bro. I was working on that all week. I was just like every day I'd be like, that's a nice little nugget. That's a nice little nugget. And if it hits, I'm gonna be a degenerate gambler. So we'll see.
I know that's right.
Oh man. 5-1-5 would be interesting though. Who would you guys leave out there? Who would you put as a linebacker out there? Because with Kaiser you have better coverage, but with TJ, I mean he's a green dot. So I mean,
All right. I have no idea, man. I have no idea. It's
I
just
guess if you have an
basically the
extra
same.
D
You are
back back there,
if they're gonna run this defense, honestly, this is gonna tell you. And I'm not saying this is the defense they're gonna run or anything. And of course, anything could be based off matchup. Yeah, sure. But I personally believe that if they run this defense and whatever linebacker they trot out there, that's gonna tell you a lot about who's coming back this offseason.
yeah, it's a good point.
But I think
I mean, go ahead, Pierre.
this is not a game where I trust TJ Edwards in coverage, man. Did I cut out?
You kind of, but you still.
Yeah, you did a little bit.
Oh yeah, like I think you have to play it by matchup. Like to me, this is not a game where I trust TJ Edwards in coverage versus a guy like Jerick McKinnon and Isaiah Pacheco out of the backfield. It's not a recipe for success.
Oh, his change of direction is so bad, man. It's so bad, man. He be trying to turn the back, and I'm like, bro, move your feet, keep moving, come on. It's like they stuck in quicksand, bro.
It would have been nice if we just saw more base defense too. Like if we just saw if N'Kobe saw more time throughout the year, you know, and you get
and see
your
that's
linebackers.
That's the bad part about all of this because N'Kobe is the middle ground of everything we're discussing.
Exactly, it sucks, man. That's what I keep thinking.
You can't.
He's legit the perfect, like he's the perfect linebacker against this Kansas City team. Yeah.
Dang, man.
Oh man. Well, you can't have everything, right? I mean, here we are complaining about rookie playing time after, like in a season where we're in the Super Bowl. But I mean, those are things that we said all year, you know. And in the time that he had, he looked like he was balling. You know, he got in against in the Tennessee game. He was playing pretty well. Oh, and I mean, if we're talking about N'Kobe Dean, let's talk about how we just had that dog in him, bro. What's his name? It's Armstead, right? No, who's no?
Ark Armstead?
No. What's his name, bro? On the whatchamacallit?
Sparks.
I lost my train of thought. Sorry, I had to turn the TV off.
49ers?
Yeah. Who's their tackle?
It's not Armstead.
Williams. What's his name?
Trent Williams.
Yeah, Trent Williams like throws Kayvon Wallace. You see, was the first person getting his face.
Oh,
N'Kobe Dean. Right in his face, bro. The height difference is right here, and he's right up in his grill, bro. And they had to pull N'Kobe off of him. Like, go watch the video. I saw like 2 different angles. And I was like, oh, okay. Like, we got a dog. Like, no pun intended, obviously.
Brother,
but
I feel so bad for Kayvon Wallace.
Oh my god, bro. He got no grown man should be thrown like that, bro. That was ridiculous.
And it's crazy because he technically got snuck, but it's like the bouncer coming up to you.
But he wasn't
arguing with the guy who
he wasn't even
here.
doing anything.
Like, yeah, how did they eject him for getting thrown, bro? Like,
he swung up, he threw a punch. And the messed up part about him throwing the punch is he didn't even hit the right guy. He got thrown by Trent Williams. N'Kobe
that
got
sounds like Kayvon, though, bro. He can hit, but he might not hit the right guy.
Right. He got thrown. N'Kobe got in Trent face. Some other 49er got up and stepped to N'Kobe. And then Kayvon got up. And the first face he seen was, I don't know who he was the one who stepped to N'Kobe and was like, hey. It just punched him. And it's like, oh, okay. I feel you, but that's
my
not
bad,
the guy
my
you're
bad, my
looking
bad.
for.
I'm looking for that guy. Oh man, that's awesome. But yeah, I saw that and I loved it. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see. So we've talked about our defense versus their offense, and I feel like that's what everyone's talking about. But well, I guess let's focus on that a little bit more. Just on the defensive line. Then I mean, talked about it a little bit, but the matchup, like their interior guys are pretty good. They got Creed Humphreys, who was a Philly Blitz favorite, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah. So, he's legit, and their guards are, pretty good too. But where they have legitimate weaknesses is at tackle, and so it's Orlando Brown Jr. Right?
Orlando
Yeah.
Brown and Andrew Wiley.
And Andrew Wiley. Both of them are.
That's my one saving grace in this matchup. Hassan Reddick on Wiley.
Yeah. Oh, but also Orlando Brown Jr. or Josh Sweat on Orlando Brown Jr. Like Josh Sweat, like Hassan Reddick has that first step that everyone talks about, but Josh Sweat is not far off from there. And there was an article about Josh Sweat building computers that friend of the pod ZB wrote. And even in there, everyone who's played with Josh, Chris Long, all these guys just talk about how Josh Sweat has one of the fastest get-offs that anyone has seen. And that's how he won a lot in high school. I mean, he was a top 10, like the best edge defender in his class. And then, he blew out his knee. But
I won in high school.
Huh?
That is also how I won in high school.
Well, and Josh Sweat, baby. 1-1. But his speed is really going to hurt Orlando Brown Jr. because he's slow. Like he's a strong tackle, but he's got slow feet, man. He's got slow feet. So, if Josh and Hassan can beat their man, I mean it'll be a long night for Patrick Mahomes. Hopefully,
I need a Robert Quinn sack, like badly in the worst way.
Not even betting on it. Pierre needs it for his pride, bro. Like, because if he doesn't, that man's gonna be, oh my god, he's gonna be insufferable.
Brother, if
Go
he
Gators.
does not get a sack, Howie Roseman will get off the rails because, well, especially if we win a Super Bowl. But brother, what the hell was that?
Is it worse than the Kerrigan signing?
Yeah,
No,
I don't
no,
know.
Man.
No.
I don't know. Even though we gave up draft
know.
picks, we had Kerrigan for a full
You guys
year,
understand
bro.
how
and
I feel
he
about
did.
draft picks, though. Y'all know how I feel about draft picks. But I
Actually,
feel you.
the best he played is that game that Carson got injured,
Kerrigan
right?
like 4 months to get his first tackle, bro. We was like 10 games in before he got a tackle.
He was so bad. Oh my god, dude! Just signing the division rivals never works for the Eagles. Miles Austin, DeMarco Murray, Ryan Kerrigan,
Steve Smith.
Steve.
Wow, he really won. Okay.
Dayball.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Sean
Meat monkey
McDermott.
crazy.
Sean McDermott got more votes than Siri. Wow. Okay, bro. All right.
Cut the damn computer off.
Okay.
Sean McDermott needs to be fired.
I'm not gonna go that far. But
Brother, hold on. Because we live, so I got time today. Hold on, give me a second. Sean McDermott, you have a top-tier quarterback in this league who has developed to become an A-plus player. And each of the last 2 seasons, your football team has lost because the thing that you're good at, coaching defense, can't get off the damn field. Who else am I going to look at but you? The last 2 years. So at this point, I'm sitting looking like, okay, my offense is competent. I hired a defensive head coach. Why the hell is my defense the problem? I can't. He got to go. It's over for him. I tried to cap for him last year, and then this year happened. He's beat. I got nothing for him. No more.
Do they have the dogs on defense?
They have the dogs. They've been having the dogs for like 4 years now.
Ed Oliver, Trey White, Matt Milano.
But besides, I'm thinking about their D line.
On the
D
line,
on the D line, besides
the second,
Ed Oliver, who is there? Huh?
You said who was Ed Oliver?
No, besides Ed Oliver, who else is there on their D line? Because I know
They
they're
had another
secondary
defensive
still.
tackle.
Jerry Hughes still there?
Jerry Hughes is gone. They also got Greg Russo,
Yeah.
who's been
Yeah.
pretty solid. It's
Boogie
somebody else
Basham.
there. Yes, him. I'm about to say somebody I'm missing. Boogie Basham. Boogie Basham was really freaking good this year. Really freaking good. Like almost all.
It's just
pro.
tough, man. You have a
He's
when you
the
have a guy.
problem.
It's a tough position to be in because a lot like the Eagles have been spoiled, right? Like we fired Doug Peterson, we hired Nick Sirianni, but
Brother, we
it's hard to find
Doug Peterson because why are you an offensive coach and my offense is the problem?
I'm telling you, it was Press Taylor, bro.
Leave Press Taylor out of this, goddamn.
But Quell loves Press Taylor. Quell loves Chip Kelly.
I love Doug Peterson, but I can call a spade too. If you
call a club a
supposed
spade,
to be,
you call a club a spade and call it a spade.
Oh man, nah, because y'all be trying to look
Press
past
Taylor
stuff,
is
man.
hashtag not good.
Not good.
Man. That's not what the Jaguars offense say this year, but I digress a little bit.
The one that has Doug Peterson coaching it and calling plays.
If that's going to be your argument, then what is
Doug
Nick
is covering
Sirianni
for
doing?
Doug is covering for his boy once again.
That's
The
your
genius of
argument, then
Doug
what's Nick
is
Sirianni
covering.
doing?
Nick Sirianni is the what you call it?
The
CEO
heart of the
head coach.
team.
The heart, the heart of the team.
Yeah, I don't care if he calls plays. I don't give a shit.
Man.
I don't care.
You know, Nick,
I hope Brian
Nick
Johnson calls
Sirianni
plays
didn't
next
call
year.
plays
I hope
before he got his
Shane
gig, right?
Steichen is in Arizona and Brian Johnson is calling plays next year. Sirianni gets this team to just bark, bro. Doesn't matter.
And you don't think
Got a team of
Preston
dogs.
gets that out of Trevor Lawrence? Look, you see that sunshine? That ain't nobody getting that bark out of him but Press Taylor. The
Doug
golfing
Peterson.
trips.
Doug is like, hey, if you bark, Trevor, I'll take you for ice cream. And Trevor's like,
You sound like that episode of Family Guy. Hey, folks. All right, let's get back on track, man. So Jalen
All right, so let's
Hurts
talk about
versus
our
Chris
offense.
Jones, man. What do we do? How do we stop Chris Jones?
use the
Somebody
number one O line in the league, the one that tossed around Javon Kinlaw 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, Javon Kinlaw is no Chris Jones.
No, he's not. But the one that shut down Nick Bosa, the one that has done it to every time we play this. I mean, they're not the number one, but every time we played a number one rushing defense, it's like the Eagles just take it personally, bro. This old line, Chris Jones will be taken care of by Stoutland University, right? Like,
I like to believe you. I like to believe you, man. But sometimes schemes and all that stuff go into play a whole lot more than we like to think. And just watching this Chiefs football team on the defensive side of the ball, there are plays to be made by the Eagles, especially in the run game. Now, this can't be a game of missed opportunities. We can't go into halftime saying, dang, it's 10-7, but we should be up 17-7 or 20-7, but we missed these plays. You miss those plays, and you might lose this game. You just might lose this football game. You got to take advantage of the things that are you got to take what the defense gives you first and foremost, which Jalen Hurts has been magnificent at. Now, the first thing I'm looking at in this game is to see, is my damn quarterback healthy? Because I've had questions about how he's throwing the ball over the last 2 weeks or 3 weeks, I guess it is at this point. But it was definitely something to be concerned about.
I mean, the thing is, though, he hasn't really had to throw the ball.
I mean, yeah,
he's missed the opportunity. Right? Like him and AJ have hit that a million times.
Yeah,
right.
Like there's been overthrows, even the one to Devontae.
Just imagine if those was
he's been a little bit off
that we needed in those games.
Yeah.
So I mean, we didn't need him.
This
then,
is a game where he has to hit them.
And I think
I also tend to believe.
Go ahead.
I lost you guys. Sorry.
Yeah, I think
I was just saying I tend to believe
Jinx
You
person
go ahead.
thinks you
Go
over
ahead.
your soul.
Go ahead.
No, I think having the 2 weeks off, I think that's gonna do wonders for him too, in terms of his health. Just having more
Mhm.
time to not really have to use his shoulder that much.
Yeah, and on top of that, I just think they're due. It's something that's been bread and butter all year. They have that timing. I also think he might have rested it, but knowing Jalen, he was probably practicing it with AJ Brown too. When they were throwing, I think that was something that they were working on. And that's not something that would surprise me. And a lot of people talked about how they were hitting it at like an unsustainable rate all year, and that might be true, but it's at an unsustainably bad rate the last couple of weeks. So they're due for getting back to the mean, and that's been my feeling for the last 2 weeks. After they missed that one and AJ went to the bench, I was like, oh, like they're gonna hit it next week. Like I was like, they're saving it for the Super Bowl. Like it's gonna be beautiful and it's gonna bring the house down. But I think they're due for it. But Quell, I wanted to go back to the 2021 season and look at the Kansas versus Philadelphia game,
Kansas
because
City, Philadelphia, I actually did the same thing, man.
Chris Jones had one QB hit. That's it. Like he was kept pretty quiet all game. That's the benefit of having
Chris
the
Jones
greatest center.
also
of all
wasn't
time.
playing at the level that he's playing this year.
No,
Chris
but we
Jones
also
is
didn't have Landon
arguably the
Dickerson
best
playing at the level
defensive
that he
tackle.
is.
Chris Jones
And-
isn't the best guard in football, is he?
No, I'm not Landon Dickerson, but I'm not saying he's the best guard in football. But
Landon Dickerson, you're right.
Jason Kelsey's the best center in football, and combo block with Landon Dickerson and Jason Kelsey is gonna do pretty well. And Stoutland has always had a plan for these guys. Chris Jones might not have been playing at that level, but Jason Kelsey's playing at a special level as well. I mean, he's an all-pro center. Chris Jones is an all-pro D tackle. Jason Kelsey is an all-pro center. So I know he's a special player. I'm not trying to take away anything from him, but I guess my sense of confidence just comes from the fact that we have the best O-line coach maybe ever, and we have like the best O-line in the league for like the last 3 years running.
So this Chiefs secondary that you guys are so confident that we can roast, they should have
Legarius.
Yeah. I'm saying
Needs to keep
everybody
his
that's
mouth
not
shut.
him.
Called Devontae number 6.
My man said let's sneeze.
I'm pleased but him. And at least all of them was football. God dang, man. Wrong Sneed. But
Willie Sneed.
less Sneed. God, goodness gracious. But they got Ladarius Sneed back from the concussion protocol, which is huge. He's been huge from this all year. Does it interest you to know that since the playoffs have begun, the Chiefs have they have more interceptions than allowed touchdowns, and all of those interceptions have come on attempts to wide receivers?
Still not scared.
Yes and no. Because I still don't think they've played, which I mean, maybe you could say Cincinnati has the best wide receiving core in the league, but I just don't think they've played an offense the caliber of this Philadelphia Eagles team.
That's the thing. And I think if you went back early on in the season to that Cincinnati versus Kansas City game, that's the one thing that you should look at and pique your interest. Because that's when Cincinnati had a healthy offensive line. They were a generally healthy football team. And how they were able to go about in that football game. And when Cincinnati wasn't healthy.
Another announcement. He didn't win it, but Brandon Graham at least got votes for comeback player of the year. Gino got it. Brandon Graham got 2 votes. Saquon got 4. McCaffrey got 12 somehow. Gino got 20.
How the hell he get votes?
I what did McCaffrey come back from? Being on a boo-boo team?
Being in poverty?
Like, I'm sorry. What the hell are we doing?
Hey, he's back.
32 coming up this year with his best season ever, and you guys are voting for Christian McCaffrey? God, how did he throw the ball?
I don't know.
At one time. Boo-boo. God, I'm so sick of hearing about him, bro. Oh, Christian McCaffrey this, Christian McCaffrey that. Go back to Stanford, punk.
He is technically up the road from Stanford currently.
Huh?
He is technically up the road from Stanford currently.
Oh, I know. So just go back to college. I'm sick of hearing about him. He's so special. He had one nice run against us. Like,
Special.
relax, Christian.
Hey.
God.
Hey. Every time I get it, I get the Eagles. I get the Eagles fan and the Eagles blinders. I have them too. Oh man, I wish y'all could see me not on camera. Sometimes I do a good job controlling myself, but I feel you, brother. At the same time, as a player evaluator, it hurts my heart.
Oh,
You can't.
relax.
He's special.
Relax.
He is
Relax.
special.
Why are we doing?
That
Are we
boy,
really?
that boy
Well,
do
stop
things
it.
on the
Stop it.
football
Stop it.
field that
Stop
a
it.
lot
Stop it.
of
I
players
don't
can
care
do.
about evaluation. We just
That
beat
man
their
is
ass. You're
good.
still talking shit. I don't care. I don't care if he's the best player in the world. He's complaining about not having 3 quarterbacks on game days. You're
Listen,
sure throwing the
brother.
ball, buddy boy.
Listen,
Go tell your
brother.
coach. Hey, coach, I can throw the ball. If you're this
Listen, brother.
all-time offensive threat, offensive weapon, go throw the ball then,
Hey,
buddy.
I
God,
agree with a bit of your
I'm
sentiment.
sick of
All
this.
I'm
Well,
sitting here saying
do
is,
not compliment the
if
enemy.
you were an Eagles fan and you watched that playoff game on what January, whatever day it was against the Seattle Seahawks, and you left from there saying, if we had a damn quarterback, we would have won that game, then you can't say anything about the 49ers this
My
week
team won a
because
Super Bowl with our backup. I don't need to
all
hear the
I'm
excuses.
saying is
I
if
don't
you
need
left
to hear
that
the
playoff
excuses.
game
And when our
saying that
quarterback
we
went out,
had our
well,
quarterback,
time out. When our quarterback went out, we didn't go on a whole media tear about how we would have won the game if we had our quarterback. And when our quarterback went out, all we heard about is how our quarterback is injury prone. We don't hear about how Kyle Shanahan put a backup tight end on a runner-up for Defensive Player of the Year. What about that? None of this. No. The 49ers don't deserve anything good. No compliments, nothing. They deserve poverty for the rest of time. Ridiculousness. I'm not going to say it, but F the Niners. It's a PG podcast.
F the Niners.
I just don't get. I don't get how they're going around complaining and acting like it's anybody but their own fault that they're on their fourth quarterback.
How the hell is it my fault that my quarterbacks keep getting hurt? I'm sorry that people keep
Bro.
running into them in horrible ways.
Block.
Maybe block. Exactly.
Maybe Trey Lance got hurt on a run play.
How did Jimmy get hurt?
Definitely on the pass play. He ain't.
That's what I thought. That's 3 quarterbacks injured on a pass play. How about you stop doing so much play action, Mr.
Exactly.
Who's that plays? He's just good because his daddy was good, bro. Come on.
Who's been the common theme? Who's been the common theme throughout all these injuries?
Listen.
Nepotism is a real thing, my friends. Nepotism is a real thing. All I've heard about is this wonder boy who can't seem to hold a freaking lead or come back. What can he do? Regular season GOAT, Mickey Mouse rings. God. Doesn't even have it, does he? Yeah, he doesn't have a ring. I'm so sick of this. He's been to the Super Bowl so many times just to choke. He doesn't deserve it.
Listen, y'all. I got a dog. I ain't scared though, but 365 days is not too far away. So I'm here to live in the moment, not tomorrow. And when we get to tomorrow, I see y'all there. But if y'all gonna keep talking like that, I ain't gonna be here when that man come back to see y'all. I ain't gonna be here.
Listen. Oh, he can come here in the regular season and it'll be all fine and dandy and he can win a game and they can celebrate. But guess what? He couldn't do it when it mattered. He couldn't call the right play when it mattered. Why are you calling play action when you guys have no time? And why are you calling play action blocking the decoy runner up with a tight end? I'll keep saying it until my eyes fall out, until my throat comes out of my mouth.
You saying some good stuff, and it's not honestly, I know why he did it because it's not the first time they did it all year. They actually were pretty successful blocking some of the best edge rushers in the league off tight ends somehow, some way. But it just didn't work that day. And a lot of people, you got exposed doing it, and the people were looking like, why the hell would you do that? Even though he's been doing it all season long. But
so isn't that an issue? They've had 4 quarterbacks go down, and they've been blocking edge rushers with tight ends. Can we just admit that there's a problem here? What, all I hear about is Kyle Shanahan this, Kyle Shanahan that. I have yet to see him win a big game. I've seen him choke multiple games. It's one of my earliest memories, not earliest memories, but like from high school. You know what I'm saying? I remember being in my friend's basement and just being like, no way this happens. And then the Edelman catch and all that nonsense. Shanahan let it happen. It's on his conscience.
A hat, not a cap. So I'm not here to cap for somebody that's not my head coach. But all I'm saying is you reap what you sow, man. You
I got
can
a cap
cap
for
on
you.
them all you
I
want,
got a cap
man.
for you. I got a cap for you, brother. I got it right here.
I'm not here to cap for anybody that's
He's
not
a
my
regular
head
season
coach,
king.
man.
You know what? He's the Kirk Cousin of coaches.
Ooh.
I said it. They were a match made in heaven. They're the equivalent of each other. That's it. That's my point.
like
I'm
it.
leaving it there.
I like
letting
it.
them hang.
I like
Letting
it.
them not hang.
Look, we need our fair share of controversy. So I let it live. All I'm saying is if you go to bed at night thinking this, if you go to bed at night thinking that there are even two other head coaches in this league better than that man, then
Well, I don't go to
know
bed
what
thinking
to
it.
do,
I go to bed knowing it. I know that Nick Sirianni better, and I know that Andy Reid is better. I go to sleep knowing it, comfortable in my sleep. I got 4 blankets to protect me from the cold. I go to sleep comfortable. I cuddle up, and I'm like, Kyle Shanahan is overrated in mid-pack.
I don't know, man. If you ask a couple people, you or me could coach this Eagles team. So is he really better than him?
Huh?
If you ask a couple people, you or I can coach this Eagles team. This Eagles team is a self-coach. He's just there for the ride.
A couple people plenty of
so
it's because they have so much talent and they're so special. But guess what? Kyle Shanahan has so much talent. Debo Samuel, Christian McCaffrey.
I ain't got no damn talent. I ain't even got a damn quarterback.
Whose fault is that?
He's had 3 that he's drafted. How many has he drafted?
1.
No, multiple. Just 1 first-round guy, but multiple guys. Oh, I'm going to grab this guy. I'm going to grab this guy. I'm going to take him. I'm going to take him. It's not my fault you've been stuck with Jimmy for years and then you decide to take Trey Lance over Justin Fields, who was right there, or even Mac Jones, who would have been better. That's not my fault that Kyle Shanahan thinks he's got the biggest brain in the room. It's because the media is always like, Shanahan.
Freaking 9 games since 2016. Like, what was it?
I don't care, bro.
Put on a damn uniform, bro.
You can have the best regular season record in the world. How many rings does he have to show for that? 0.
How many quarterbacks does he have to show for that?
Huh?
How many quarterbacks does he have to show for that?
Jimmy G has taken him to 3.
Jimmy G is ass, bro.
That's
who chose realize this.
Who chose him? Who chose him for his system? Kyle Shanahan. Are we forgetting about this? Kyle Shanahan.
All he said was my system is quarterback friendly, and I can take a roach to the Super Bowl.
They decide to take Jimmy.
And he
did work with Nick Mullins. They do all these other guys, but then they take a guy where they like. I mean, are you really gonna just sit here and be like, oh well, Trey Lance was a good pick. Justin Fields was right there. Like, I mean, they try to big brain everything in that room. It's not my fault that they don't have a quarterback. It's their fault. And it's not my fault that they went through 4 quarterbacks this year. It's his fault.
How is it his fault that everybody getting hurt?
He didn't put them in the best positions.
We just talked about how his play call got his quarterback injured in the NFC Championship game. Like, at one point,
he broke a leg because my right tackle or right guard couldn't block somebody. And you going to blame me because Jimmy G broke his ankle because y'all can't block?
You know what?
If you for Trey Lance,
if he can scheme so well, you should know your personnel and be able to scheme around your personnel.
He ran quarterback power. I feel you. Why you do that? Stop. Because Niner fans kept saying, bro, stop running quarterback power. You're going to get our quarterback hurt. And what happened the next week? He got hurt. Okay. I feel you. I can listen to that argument.
Jimmy G got injured on.
It was a passing play in the pocket.
It was a passing play, but who was
somebody just didn't block.
Well, if you are supposed to be this next world schemer who everyone talks about as the best schemer in the world, this, and this, you should know that your O-line is a weakness and scheme around that. You got a tight end who can block his ass off with George Kittle.
Brother, I could scheme up this shoe. I got a boot beside me that won't move if I kicked it. I can scheme him open if that's Kyle Shanahan. But if nobody blocks, what does that have to do with me? Execution and scheme? Execution and scheme are 2 different things. I can sit here and put you in a position where if you do this correctly, this should work. We should gain 60 yards on this play if you do this correctly. If y'all don't execute, why are we looking at me? Be better. Y'all suck, not me.
correct me if I'm wrong, but Kyle Shanahan has tons and tons of input on who they take. He's very particular about who comes
What
into
the
his
hell
offense.
they got to do with my left
So
guard
spare
or right
me.
guard?
You know
Can't
what? The
make a
play that he
block.
got injured on, it's on their star left tackle. Isn't he supposed to be good? So is it just because he can't block? Trent Williams can't block?
Look at him. I'm
Trent Williams
expecting
can't
him to make.
You
Like,
brought him here.
You're looking at Kyle
You
Shanahan
brought him
like
there
it's
to be your
fault.
left tackle because their O-line sucked. They brought him in to reinforce it. But you're not like, I mean, at one point you got to take responsibility. I think this is ridiculous.
I just want to know how many times.
Bro, all right, you know what?
Please,
Take out the quarterback injuries. Take out the quarterback injuries.
I want to know
how many
one
Super Bowls
thing.
has he won?
I got one question for you. How many times did you look at Lane Johnson and whoever the hell it was playing left tackle? I think it was Big V, and say, it's your fault Carson Wentz got hurt? How many times you said that? Or you said, damn, my quarterback got hurt?
Carson Wentz just got himself injured half the time.
Oh my God!
Admitted. Carson Wentz ran into sacks, bro. We've seen it happen.
Little folks.
Carson Wentz has run himself into sacks, bro. Like, you're talking to the wrong guy. I've watched that happen multiple times. I watched Carson Wentz get himself injured.
It's not your fault. Then he watched the 49ers and was like, it's him. 71 right there. He did it. It's his fault right there. Blame the coach.
Maybe get a better quarterback. I don't know what to tell you. All I'm saying is all I hear about is Kyle Shanahan this, Kyle Shanahan that. Nick Sirianni might do something that Kyle Shanahan has never done in year 2. Doug Peterson did something Kyle Shanahan has never done in his life in year 2. I don't need to hear it.
We praise Andy Reid, bro. You give Andy Reid all this credit. It took Andy Reid 20 years to win a Super Bowl. So
it did. Worry about that it took him forever. Fine. You know what?
Yep,
I will revisit this in 15 years, homie. 15 years, I'll come back and we'll see if Kyle Shanahan has won a ring or if he's still cycling through quarterbacks in quarterback purgatory. I mean, does he just miss Kirk Cousins?
All right. We got one more topic we want to cover before we get out of here. So, Sunday, Super Bowl, right? Second Super Bowl in 5 years. What would a second Super Bowl win in 5 years mean for the city of Philadelphia?
2 more rings of Kyle Shanahan. That one was right there. It'll mean something nice though, because the other team in South Philly is giving up. So we need some good things, man.
Yeah, we're not.
We're not talking. I'm not naming them, bro. I'm not naming them.
We're not getting a chip out of them, bro.
If the damn, you can tell I'm not a fan of them. Whatever they're
Phillies.
Yeah, them guys. If they keep winning games, then they're gonna overtake that other team. But all we give a damn about in South Philly is the Eagles, bro. I do not care. I am sick of it, bro. If ain't nobody who ever look at this podcast, go take the time and go check my page out. I retweeted the latest tweet. Stop it, whoever. Like, go check out our latest investment for the Philadelphia 76ers. I'm begging.
And for everyone who thinks we got Jaden McDaniels, we got the worst twin, Jalen McDaniels. Oh my God, dude. All I'm saying, Joel Embiid, when you leave, I'm gonna be a new basketball team fan because I'm done with this poverty franchise, man.
It's okay because Bird's going for 2.
Birds bring it home, baby, because that's what my sanity is lying on. Pierre, let me tell you what it'll mean to the city of Philadelphia. It'll mean that it doesn't spontaneously combust, because I mean, just the entire hopes, dreams, life of the city is riding on the Eagles right now. We got that.
Pierre, I don't even live there, bro. And I don't think you understand how much, if the Eagles don't win this game, 30 days from now,
storm
you're going to look
but angrily.
Back, like, no, really, realistically, 30 days from now, you're going to be on Twitter and looking at Philadelphia sports Twitter, and you would never know the Eagles played a Super Bowl 30 days ago. It's going to get bad if we don't win this game, man.
The question. Oh my God, WIP will have a field day. Oh my God.
Goodness.
Can the Eagles really win a Super Bowl with Jalen Hurts as their quarterback?
And that was not. I mean, I know you said that we had one more topic, but that was what I was going to ask you guys. Like, Jalen really has the chance to conquer a stereotype, y'all. the first dual threat quarterback, man. And I mean, yeah, we got Russell Wilson and all of that, but Russell ain't the runner that a guy like
a true
Jalen
dual
Hurts-
threat. No, yeah, you're
Exactly.
I
right.
need
You're
it.
right.
I
Absolutely.
need it so bad, bro. I need
Like-
it, man.
Oh my
Bro,
god! Like,
like our
hold on.
agendas.
I'm gonna just drop a couple gems for y'all. I took all these notes for the pod, and I want to had a chance to get them all, especially because it's the last part of the season. But yo, like, I don't think y'all on it. First of all, I should have said this earlier. We got the number one passing defense in football. They have the number one passing offense in football. The number one passing defense is 2-0 against the number one passing offense in football. Over the last few meetings, I think they have a combined winning percentage. A combined winning of like 60 points, 64 points. The Buccaneers beat the brakes off the Raiders, and the Seahawks beat the brakes off the Broncos. So the number one passing defense has been wide and far clear ahead of the number one wild passing offense over the last few meetings. It's the sixth Super Bowl in history between one seeds. Well, not in history, the sixth Super Bowl since 2000 between one seeds. It doesn't happen often. This is the youngest age between starting quarterbacks in Super Bowl history. Not only that, but both of these quarterbacks are from Texas. Patrick Mahomes from Tyler, Texas. Jalen Hurts from Houston, Texas. 3.5 hours, approximately 200 miles away.
Does Mahomes count?
Relax, bro.
Somebody
Does
said
Brittany
this.
Mahomes count?
We need to cut his computer off.
Cut his mic, man.
Yay.
I'm not even drinking. I'm sober today.
Yay. Yay. But
Get to you, Quill.
anyway, the winner of the MVP, which we are expecting Patrick Mahomes to be named at any moment now.
Is it today or is it? Or is
No,
it
it's
on
going
Saturday?
right now. That's why all these
It's right
awards
now.
getting
So
named.
what's on Saturday? Isn't there like some big like?
I thought it was this, but apparently it's not.
Okay, so all right, I don't know. All right, I'm
But
confused.
the winner of the MVP hasn't won a Super Bowl since 1999. And most importantly, everybody's getting caught up on the fact that I just said that this is the number one passing offense against the number one passing defense. I'm tired of that. What's really wired? This is the number 32 special teams, special teams group in the league versus the number 31 special teams group in the league. Who's gonna suck more, baby?
Bro, that's real football. That's real football, baby.
Who's gonna suck more, baby?
That's hilarious, bro. These teams really just said, "All right, like we're good enough on
Copy
offense."
Mm-hmm. Everything but that.
That's hilarious, man. That's a great stat, Qual. That's a good one.
You gotta tweet that. You gotta tweet that. I don't think anyone said that.
That's hilarious, man. What? 31 and 32. That's so ugly.
I
bro.
seen it when the playoffs first started, and I'm like, damn, the Chiefs bad. But why do we suck so bad? And I had to think about it because like the first 8 weeks or so, our special teams was bad, bro.
Garbage,
like,
bro.
Terrible.
Oh,
bro.
well, actually, speaking of special teams, is it going to be
I
Sipos?
have no idea. I don't know.
It's
I'm
wild the
trying to
game
find
shit,
out.
man. They won't even tell us the punter. It's crazy, bro. I love it.
I'm begging to find out, man.
Was Kern that bad? I guess I didn't.
Yeah.
I wasn't paying attention.
Yeah.
He was
Bro.
really that bad.
Think about it like this. Everybody else was telling me how bad Aaron Sipos was, and I was like, he was that bad? I can see how bad Kern was.
Kern had a couple bad ones.
Noticed it.
Yeah, you're right. There were a couple
He's been
clunkers.
bad.
Yeah.
He was a free agent for a reason.
Yeah.
But y'all know what we getting out of here on, man. Last time this season, I need some predictions, need some scores, and I need a player prop.
I'll give you 2 props.
Ooh, Park been dropping the juice all week, y'all. All week in the group message, man. He been hitting us up like, what y'all think?
Because I want Quell to approve him, bro. I was like, I need the Quell approval because that's what I'm waiting. But I put it down. I put it because I was like, you know what? I'm just staring at it for too long. It's time. But I'm just feeling the Hassan and Josh Sweat sacks, man. So you can either take like both those guys or just go Eagles over 2 sacks. But I just that matchup against the tackles with these speed rushers with Mahomes, like if you're gonna get to him fast, right? Because he has eyes in the back of his head, on the side of his head, wherever. He can feel everything. If you close that space faster than he can, recognize it or react to it, that's what we pay you for. So, I think we'll finally get that big Josh Sweat sack and get one of these in the playoffs. Why not? Right. I love that, dude. Hassan Reddick, just the dude, oh my god, dude. Hassan Reddick might be one of my favorite players now. Just him being on the sideline, spit on the beard.
1 and 2 right now.
That was unreal, man. That was unreal.
About score prediction.
Yeah, I need a score. A prediction and a score.
All right. 31-28 Eagles. Walk off Jake Elliott field goal.
That sounds like Super Bowl MVP right
there. I can't take that.
I can't.
Brother,
I will be on my
I'm gonna prepare this weekend, dog. Like I'm ready. Like it's gonna be so stressful.
I ain't gonna hold you, Park. If we win, I see you later on this week.
That's what I want to hear. That's what I want to hear. I didn't get to hit the parade last time. I was back in Minnesota.
So for me, I think in terms of a prop, I'm gonna take one that's been pretty consistent for me all season. Devontae Smith over on receptions.
It's like 3, right? That's what I was looking at.
I think it's 4. I think
4.
Last time I checked, yeah. And then in terms of a score,
it's hard.
I'll say 34-23 Eagles.
Ooh,
boy.
Spicy.
Y'all ready? I got some heat for y'all right now. Y'all ready?
I'm ready.
That juice. Who y'all want me to start at?
Prop and then prediction.
Prop. You said start. Hold on. Y'all, my guys, took it out. I seen one prop, one prediction. Which one we doing?
I said prediction too. Didn't you say prediction?
No, I said prop and then prediction.
Oh, all right. Prop and then prediction.
Okay. I'm gonna start with my prop. I'm gonna give y'all 2 because I'm feeling real good. That second one is real juicy, real special. First one, like Pierre said, something I've been on all season. Pierre stole my John last week, but
anytime, baby.
I've been on this all year. If anybody who follows me, who knows me, knows Jalen Hurts touchdown and Jalen Hurts anytime touchdown is every time touchdown. We take that in every single game we play. I don't care if he hit it. I don't care if he don't. I'm going to take that bet every single week. 13 rushing touchdowns on the season. You let that man roll. I think even if you include the playoffs, he has the most rushing touchdowns for a quarterback in NFL history. But I told you I had 2 for you, and this second one juicy. Shout out to Parf. But I'm gonna thug you out a little. I'm gonna give you something a little bit more than what you said. A little bit, just a little bit more. I'm about to break some hearts, man. I'm sorry, Jalen Hurts. Anytime touchdown, we gonna catch you, and he gonna look good. But that Super Bowl MVP will weigh on the waist of number 7. Banking. That's where we're going. He will ruin this football game. He is gonna be the reason that thing comes back to Philadelphia with us. That, take it in the books. I've been saying it all week, almost a week and a half now. I started, my head said Jalen Hurts, and my heart was like, You watched both of these playoff games. You've seen one player take over these 2 games. You know who that Super Bowl MVP gonna be. So I had to lay it down. But it's gonna make it even any better, even a little bit more sweeter, because I'm going Birds. And it's gonna be a little bit more reminiscent. I started to go with the exact same score, but I don't think we're gonna get there. I do see the Birds scoring 40 points. I think we might score 40 on the dot though. So I say 40-34. Miss extra point, Harrison Bucker.
40 ball.
40 ball.
You know, how poetic would it be if Hassan Reddick wins Super Bowl MVP in Arizona? Like, of all places, as an Eagle in Arizona, the team that drafted him, didn't believe in him, all that.
I didn't even think of that, man. Thanks for adding fuel to the fire.
That'd be special. That'd be special.
Bro, the
I don't know
storylines in
about
this
y'all, but I'm
Super
putting
Bowl.
that
That's what I'm
bet in.
saying, man.
Right.
We were talking about it earlier. It's just they need to win. The storylines are too good, man. You don't get this type of opportunity doesn't come around all the time, man.
Yeah, and I'm not even gonna hold y'all, man. I was happy for him to see him win a Super Bowl finally, but the level of pissed I would be to see Andy Reid win a Super Bowl with a team that ain't the Philadelphia Eagles when we got a chance to ruin it.
Yeah.
Boy.
I'm not gonna. Everyone's like, "Oh, I'd be happy for Andy." No, I wouldn't, bro. He beat us.
Boy.
You already got. He got one. He's good. He can eat a cheeseburger. He earned it.
Boy.
Like, come on, ridiculous. Anyways,
You guys
been
think
a
we
good
can see
live
people
stream.
one more time before Super Bowl Sunday? I'm off on Sunday. What y'all got to do, man? You think we can get them a pregame show early?
I know Sunday I got church, but I shouldn't be there all day. Like maybe if we hop on around 3, 4.
No promises, y'all. I'm trying to work behind the scenes to get y'all some more content, man. We'll let y'all know though. But until then, happy Super Bowl anniversary. Y'all see my drawing up top? That's the Super Bowl logo.
Close the whiteboard, man.
Hey, every week, boy.
You got it.
Just wait till draft season. It's gonna get special up here. Wait till draft season.
Oh yeah, I love it. You got to get some new like color markers too. Be like,
boy, I do, but the black one's been working. We ain't lost a game since. So,
oh, you don't touch it. Don't touch it. Don't touch it.
From your guys over at the Philly Blitz, I am Marquel from Owens.
Pierre Baptiste.
Parth Shukla. Go Birds.
And this is Go Birds.
Go Birds.
I really wanted to just scream into the microphone, but
I did too.
I'm doing my best.